I'm making this video to discuss my current thoughts on teaching math live online via video. My district is currently using Zoom, but the ideas discussed here should work regardless of which video app is being used. Each teacher will eventually adopt their own style. I first got comfortable teaching by simply sharing my screen on Zoom, but of course I realized that there were major limitations to this. The first step may seem easy, but it can be difficult, at least for teaching really young students. You need to first teach them how to minimize the Zoom screen, to get it to where the video goes away, and then still be able to bring Zoom back. If they're on iPads, this of course works differently. Right now, I'm going to cover how this works on a computer. Later in the video, I will discuss iPads. After kids can minimize Zoom, accessing a good whiteboard site will allow you to best teach math. I will show you in a minute. Let's get started. So first, I'm going to open up Zoom. Here's what the Zoom screen looks like, and oftentimes I'd be on one side teaching and the student would be on the other screen. Simply go to the upper left-hand corner where there's two squares and push the button in order to restore Zoom down. Now sometimes when I've been talking to adults, this doesn't work. Sometimes you have to go to this edge and they have to drag it, because they might already have Zoom in a minimized window and they're like, well, I've got only one square and I can't get it any smaller. So they have to come to the edge to where they have the line and move it over to minimize Zoom. If they push the square again, they need to know that that's going to bring them right back into the full screen meeting. Now that's just minimizing it or making it a little bit smaller. Now they also need to get comfortable making Zoom completely go away, which would be pushing this dash, and then down at the bottom of their screen they can click over the Zoom icon, which is here, and then if they click on the video, they're going to get Zoom back up, and then they can click this exit minimize, this little yellow one, and then they can make it bigger again. The first thing to do is to have kids practice this. Practice, practice, practice. Now, the next thing that I think is important for teaching math is to have a good whiteboard program. You can share on Zoom in chat the whiteboard program. You can go to chat and type it in, and you can tell kids where this is at. Or you can share it in your Google Classroom, and if kids can learn how to minimize their Zoom and get into Google Classroom, that even works better. Because the best option is that for kids to have a computer going and then actually have their iPad going and use the whiteboard on the iPad and access Zoom through the computer in front of them. In fact, I do that with my daughter who just got out of kindergarten. She uses her Chromebook in order to talk to me on Zoom, and she uses her iPad, and I always set it up for her, the link that links to the whiteboard that we're using together. And she can do this. She's getting better at it. It did take some explaining to do. And to the adults that I've explained it to, they've understood it, but it's taken a little bit of doing. So it just takes practice. You got to stick with it. So I'm going to get out of Zoom completely, and I'm going to give you the site that I like to go to for a whiteboard. It's my choice for whiteboard. And that is awwapp.com. So here we are in awwapp.com, and you can immediately go in here and start drawing. Great. You might say, oh, okay, well, now I'm just drawing. So that's a drawing thing, but how do I share that with students, or what can students do with this? Here, let me clear this board real quick. And this will, of course, take some playing around. But the great thing about this app is that I can upload PDFs. Let's say I've got a PDF. This is how I started off with my daughter. I got her to first color in a unicorn. She was all excited. In kindergarten, they get excited about this type of stuff. And then I invited her to the meeting. So I invite her by simply grabbing this link. Now, when I'm teaching my daughter, I use allow everyone to edit. So this is the link I'll copy, and I'll put it in the Google Classroom, or I will put it in the Zoom chat. She can click this link, then minimize her Zoom, and she'll be in my whiteboard with me. With this link here, everyone can view. This is the same as just sharing your screen on Zoom. So I honestly don't see that great of a use for this one, because if I'm sharing my screen on Zoom, I can simply go to this app and show them because they can't interact with it. But when you're teaching more than one student, you want to go here, share a copy for each user, and then you copy the link. We come back to Zoom, we come to chat. Let me bring this up here. Come back to Zoom, come to chat, put the link in. Everyone can see the link. We click on the link. Okay, so I had to change browsers really quick because they were both logged into my account, so that wasn't working. So when you invite the students, they will be in their own account. They can either log in, or they can just give it any sort of a name when they come in. They don't have to do any kind of a sign in or log in. You'll be able to see them. Now, when the student is on theirs, they can color, and they can all have their own copy to color on. And when you're viewing the student's work, you can view what they're doing. So this is an example that my daughter likes to color, and I taught her by having her, color a unicorn or something like that. Now, what I would do to change my view, I go to my account, and I'll come to Board Repository, and this will show me a whole bunch of different boards that we've worked on. As you can see earlier in the day, I worked on with my daughter on math a couple of times, and then if there's more than one board, it'll say that there's a whole set of boards here, and you can click a button, and then you just simply click into any of the boards. If you have 20 students or whatever, there would be 20 boards, and then you join that shared board, and then you have their work again. Now, you're also in control of their board, so they can get rid of things from their board, and they can control their board, but you have that ability too. So here I'm going to delete the unicorn, and I'm actually going to go ahead and clear their entire board by going to the eraser, clear, and I'm going to bring up a math worksheet to show you how this would work when teaching a math lesson. So let's say that kids are going to learn how to work on money. So here's a money math worksheet that I pulled off the internet, and the student can then go ahead and fill it in, and there's one of two ways of doing this. They can go to the pen tool and simply write the numbers. Let me correct the color here, like this. Now, if they're on an iPad, this is more doable than on a computer. It can be really hard to just maneuver the mouse. So alternatively, they can go to text. They can click right on the spot where they want to put their answer, and they can type the number. Okay? So in this case, the person's got the wrong one here. This is actually a nickel. So let me go to the eraser tool and erase that. So I will erase this. And you'll notice it also erases a little bit of the nickel to figure out how not to do that. And then we can go to the text tool, come back, and this is 5 cents, this is 1 cent, and I can put the total in, and now I can see exactly what they're doing. I can see, 5517. Oh, they got that one right. That's fine. Now, let's say that I need to save this because they need to have some work that I need to see online, long distance. I need to keep it in a special folder or something like that. I simply come here, I go export as a PDF or an image, and I can download. Now I can use that for portfolios when I need to show parents how the student's doing. We can take tests this way. We can work on just simple problems this way. I can import pictures. So let's say that I've made a bunch of pictures of math problems or word problems or whatever it is. We can share this way and interact, and this is, I think, one of the best ways for teaching math. Now, of course, there's many other ways to teach math online. You have access to your normal Khan Academy and Zern and all of those other apps, even for reading, whatever. You're still going to go to those. But in order to teach math Live, where you're actually teaching it, you're going to need to use some sort of a whiteboard, and this one, so far, is my favorite. The last thing I'm going to demonstrate is how to completely minimize Zoom, use an app, then return to Zoom on an iPad. Here we are on the iPad with Zoom running. I will take the link from chat or Google Classroom or however your teacher shares links with you. When I press the link, Zoom goes away and the web page opens. You can still hear your teacher, and your teacher can still hear you if you're not on mute. You can work on the site or app your teacher has asked you to work on. However, your teacher will not be able to see you on video in the Zoom meeting. They will just see your name or picture profile. To return to the meeting, press the home button twice quickly. You will see all of your running apps. Press the Zoom app and your iPad screen will return to the meeting. This should work in a similar way on most tablets and smartphones. If you know how to keep the video going on an iPad when navigating away from Zoom, please let me know in the comments. I hope this video helped you. Please like and subscribe. If you have a suggestion on future videos related to education or technology, please let me know in the comments also. Thank you for watching.